stream from across the ocean? Type your thoughts in the comments. We need to talk about this. It began as just another Tuesday on the outskirts of Ouagadougou. The Burkina Faso Security Services, men and women who had been on high alert since the AES declared its independence from colonial influence, were conducting standard inspections. Dozens of cars pass through these checkpoints every hour. It's a grind. It's repetitive until it isn't. An unmarked vehicle approached. It stood out immediately. Why? The windows were tinted too and dark. And the driver was hitting speed that screamed, I have somewhere to be and I'm late. The officers waved it down. The air changed the moment that car came to a stop. When the doors opened, the officers didn't find local traders or families. They found multiple individuals, none of them Burkina Faso nationals. They held passports from different corners of the globe. And in the back seat, bags, heavy, reinforced bags. When the security forces unzipped those bags, they didn't find clothes or travel gear. They found stacks, bundles, bricks of crisp sequential US $100 bills, totaling $10 million. In a country fighting for its economic life, $10 million in cash is more than money. It's a weapon of mass destruction. But the money was just the fuel. The fire was in the crate next to it. High-powered firearms, ammunition, gear that belongs on a front line, not in a passenger car. And then the most bizarre discovery: boxes of unregistered illegal medicine, no import records, no pharmacy labels. Ask yourself, why would a hit squad need crates of unregistered medicine to treat their own after a bloody operation, or to distribute something else into the community to cause a public health panic? What's your theory? Well, the suspects were hauled into custody and the vehicle was impounded, but the real investigation was only beginning. In the glove compartment and tucked under the seats, investigators found dozens of mobile phones, brand new burners. Each one had a different SIM card. To a regular person, that's just a lot of tech. To a seasoned counterintelligence officer, that is a red flag. Multiple phones meant to bypass surveillance and keep the architects of the plot invincible. But the plotters made a mistake. They stayed connected. Burkina Faso's forensic teams went to work immediately. They didn't just look at the photos, they traced the last calls made and received. And what they found shifted the entire direction of the case. These foreigners weren't just tourists with bad luck. Several of the numbers on those phones belonged to people inside Burkina Faso. They weren't random contacts. These were individuals already flagged in the intelligence reports, people known to be sympathetic to foreign interests, people who had been caught in the digital dragnet discussing one thing: the removal of Captain Ibrahim Traore from power. Let's look at the why. Why would anyone spend $10 million to destabilize a nation of 22 million people? The answer is simple. Supremacy is expensive for those who want to buy you. Since Captain Ibrahim Traore took the helm, he has been a thorn in the side of the old guard. He's been reclaiming mines. He's been telling the foreign militaries to pack their bags. He's been building the AES with Mali and Niger. He is asserting that Burkina Faso's resources belong to the people, not to a boardroom in Paris or Washington. That kind of talk makes you a target. Authorities now believe the foreigners were just the delivery boys. Their job was to hand over the weapons and the cash to the local facilitators. The 10 million was a war chest. It was meant to buy loyalty. It was meant to bribe key military figures. It was meant to pay for protests that look organic but are bought and paid for. Let's be honest, how many civil unrest events in Africa are actually spontaneous, and how many are funded by bags of cash found in the back of an SUV? Have you seen this happen in your own country? Tell me the name of the country and the year. We need to talk about those crates of unregistered medicine. This is a detail that many news outlets are glossing over, but at Power and Pulse, we look at the pulse of the operation. Security analysts suggesting a chilling scenario. A scenario A, the medicine was for the mercenaries themselves, but scenario B is much more darker. Illegal, unregistered medicine can be used to undermine public trust in the national healthcare system. If people start getting sick from unknown sources and the government can't explain it, the people get angry. Anger leads to unrest. Unrest leads to a coup. It is a textbook intelligence tactic. You create a problem, you let the government fail to solve it, and then you offer preferred candidate as the solution. The cash, the guns, the medicine, and the phones. This was a full spectrum sabotage kit. They didn't just want to kill a leader, they wanted to kill. The story isn't the foreigners, it's the local contacts. Names are currently being compiled. Surveillance is underway across Ouagadougou and beyond. There are people in high places, some in the civil service, some perhaps even in the security apparatus, who were prepared to receive that cash. People who were ready to sell their country's future for a stack of $100 bills. Authorities have launched a nationwide sweep. They aren't just looking for the foreigners anymore. They are hunting the local facilitators. A senior officer told national television, "This is not over. We will dismantle every part of this network, no matter how deep it goes." I want to ask the Power and Pulse community, what should be the punishment for a local citizen who collaborates with foreign agents to destabilize their own home? Is it prison, or is there a more symbolic way to deal with treason? This isn't just about Burkina Faso. We have to look at the map. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have formed the AES. They have cut ties with former colonial masters. They have turned toward new partners. They are building a wall of dominance in the Sahel. And that wall is being hammered from the outside. When you make bold moves like Captain Traore has, you invite covert operations. When you tell a superpower no, they don't just walk away. They look for a weak link. They look for a checkpoint they can slip through. The arrests in Ouagadougou are a warning shot. They are a reminder that shift in African politics is being contested in the shadows every single day. The 10 million seized is just one drop in the bucket. How many other cars didn't get stopped? How many other bags of cash reached their destination? Let's map out the possibilities as investigators piece this together. Scenario 1, the self-contained cell. This was one group acting on a specific contract. They were neutralized and the threat is over. Unlikely given the amount of cash. Scenario 2, the multi-cell operation. There are other teams currently in Burkina Faso or neighboring Mali and Niger. They have their own 10 million. They have their own crates of guns. They are waiting for the signal. Scenario 3, the long-term infiltration. This group was just the logistics team. They were setting up safe houses, supplying drugs. Scenario is true. The lesson is the same. Vigilance is non-negotiable. The security forces didn't just find money. They found proof that Burkina Faso is in the crosshairs of a global power struggle. Right now, in a secure facility in the capital, digital forensic teams are combing through every text, every deleted WhatsApp message, and every telegram signal on those seized phones. They are tracing the origin of the $10 million. You don't just walk into a bank and withdraw 10 million in cash without leaving a trail. That money came from a specific source. It was moved through specific channels. When the Burkinabe government finally releases the names of the foreign countries involved, it will be a diplomatic explosion. But will they use that information as leverage behind the scenes This is not just a story about a police checkpoint. It is not just about a mountain of cash or a crate of illegal weapons. This is a story about a nation that refuses to be bought. It's about the thin, fragile line that separates order from chaos and the brave men and women who stand on that line every single day. Somewhere tonight, the people who planned this operation are realizing that their 10 million investment just went up in smoke. Their agents are in a cell, their phones are being decrypted, their plot has been exposed to the light of day, and somewhere else, the people of Burkina Faso are realizing that their security forces have once again stood between them and the darkness. But we cannot be complacent. As the investigation moves further, the question remains, how many more plots are out there waiting in the shadows? And when the next vehicle approaches the checkpoint, will we be ready? Captain Traore once said that the fight for independence is a daily struggle. Today, Burkina Faso won the struggle, but tomorrow is a new day. If you believe that Africa's sovereignty is not for sale, if you believe that $10 million cannot buy the soul of a nation, then I need you to like, share, and subscribe.
If you think, ain't no fucking believe. That's why we fucked up right now in all the shit that we in. Because of some fucking believing. Believing is not thinking. That's what you need to know.